Welcome to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. I know I sure am. For today, we're going to touch base on a bit of a controversial topic that might not be to everyone's liking. I know for sure I'm going to get some hate for it, but it's not intended to bring down the brand in any ways. It's just intended for educational purposes and to better set expectations for people that are considering whether or not this is a good purchase for them. So yeah, let's go over 4 reasons why you might not want to buy an Eart guitar. But before we do that, let's talk about what an Eart guitar is in the first place, because it seems like it's come out of nowhere and then everybody's raving about them. So, Eart guitars, Eart specifically, that's how it's pronounced, not E-A-R-T, not E-R-T, it's pronounced Eart, stands for Electroacoustic Art. It's a company that's been in business for about 18 years based on what the company owner or general manager has told me. His name is AC Tom. Seems like a very nice guy. He's on Facebook. And yeah, so they've been in business for 18 years. And one of the things that they do differently is they try to use woods and I guess components that aren't normally used by others. They'll use things like butternut, safflower, that kind of stuff. And their mission is to get an Eart guitar in the hands of every guitar player out there. So that's a very ambitious mission. And what they're trying to do is deliver a great value for the money in that, affordable price range between $200 to $400, $500, $600, $100 range. Depends on what $600 range, depending on what you're looking for. Anyways, the video specifically, we're going to talk about 4 reasons why these guitars might not be for you. Although, like I said, definitely it's not intended to bring the brand down. I think they're good guitars, but we'll go over that in a moment. So let's start off with reason number 4. All right, reason number 4 is going to be if you're expecting the guitar to sound good out of the box, you might not want to get one. So that might sound like a harsh thing to say, but the pickups that they use on these guitars, they're Artec pickups for the most part, about the most affordable thing you can buy online. They've been around for years. I want to be clear on something. They don't sound terrible, but don't expect them to sound anywhere near as good as like a Seymour Duncan or anything like that. Probably, be mindful and aware that you might have to change or upgrade those pickups, and that's okay. We upgrade pickups on guitars all the time, even much more expensive ones, but just be mindful of that. Yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next one and talk about number 3. All right, so reason number 3 is going to be if you are a stickler for conventional based guitars or conventional style guitars, you might not love the Eart guitars. And what I mean by that is if you're the type of person that really likes the traditional Stratocaster, Tele style, Les Paul, they have versions of that, but they're a little bit different. Like for example, this Telecaster style that I have right here, it's not a traditional sunburst Tele, or butterscotch blonde Tele with a white or black pickguard. It's got a mint green pickguard that's very minty, very green. It's got like a pink flame maple top. It's got a tinted neck. So yeah, so definitely not conventional. There's also, I don't know if you guys can see on the back here in my background, but there's also like Poplar style guitars. They have headless. And yeah, that's one of the things I actually like about the brand. I prefer brands to try not copy too much of the designs of others. But if you're a stickler for, conventional guitar, they might not be for you. You might be better off with something from Harley Benton, which makes a copy out of every guitar in existence for not a lot of money. So just food for thought. Now let's move on to number 2, and here's where things are going to get maybe a bit more. All right, reason number 2 is going to be if you're expecting the guitar to have the most amazing fretwork ever in your life, don't buy it. So now is where I might get some hate and whatnot, but here's the thing. There seems to be a common misconception in the internet. I didn't know it was a thing until I started seeing a lot of these videos on what fretwork is in the first place. So a lot of people are saying, oh my God, these guitars, the frets, they're like a $2,000 guitar, yada, yada, yada. It's the most amazing thing ever. No, they're not. No, they're not. There are several components to what fretwork is. And what they do well is one of them, which is the fret edges. Specifically, the fret edges are super smooth because they're very nicely pre-rolled. So they don't stick out. You don't have, like sharp frets anywhere. Now, I did say they're pre-rolled. So now most manufacturers, they'll install the frets and then they'll work on the edges so they're nice and smooth afterward. And then some premium manufacturers, I can think of like Ibanez, for example, will round them up so nicely that they almost have like a spherical appearance or aesthetic, kind of like this. However, this is a little bit different because these are pre-rolled at the factory. So it's actually not done afterwards, it's done before. And I have no idea why nobody has ever thought of that or done that before. So props to Eart for being, very intelligent there. You can tell they're pre-rolled because they're almost not big enough for the fret. So most of them will not be near the edges. And that's fine. Like that's perfect. The comfort level of that is great. However, there's other more important things to fretwork. So you have the fret leveling, which is arguably the most important thing, which just means that all the frets are at the same level height. And the problem with Eart guitars is that they're not. Every single Eart guitar that I've played, the 3 that I've owned, and all the others that I played from friends, unfortunately have very unlevel frets. So they don't do a good job at leveling the frets, which results in fret buzz or less than ideal playability. And yeah, and then there's also fret sprout. So I've seen fret sprout in at least 3 out of about 7 Eart guitars. That's a very high number. And fret sprout just, means that the frets are popping up or whatever. So they might not be glued well. It might be because of climate changes, but yeah. So overall, the fretwork isn't that great. The other component to fretwork that I guess they do a good job at is making sure the frets are shiny. But that's actually something very, very simple, very easy to do. Even if they weren't, you can just take some Scotch-Brite or some steel wool and just polish those very lightly. It's simple to do. Tons of videos out there on how to do it. But yeah, so frets are shiny. That's good. Edges are nice. They are not level, and you might have some fret sprouts. So what that means for you is don't expect it to be as good as like a premium instrument in terms of playability, and expect it to be like completely buzz free and perfect fret wise. They're not, okay? Most likely you're gonna have to put some work in. It is what it is. And this is actually related to what reason number one is gonna be why you might not wanna buy an Eart guitar. So let's move on to that one. All right, and at number one, it's gonna be quality control. So unfortunately, the Eart guitars are not known to have a very standard high level of quality control. And it's not just me saying that, it's reality. If you go to forums, if you go to websites, if you go to some of the reviews, you're gonna find people talking about, hey, here's all the things I like about it, but unfortunately, there's this problem, there's this problem, there's this problem. And it seems to be a common occurrence. They just don't have the same level of quality consistency as some other brands out there for similar pricing. To give you an example, I purchased 3 Eart guitars so far. All 3 of them had major issues. The first one had a warped neck, a brand new instrument. Obviously, I sent that back. Thankfully, I bought it on Amazon, easy enough to do. The second one, which was the replacement, that one right here, it didn't have anything, just needed a basic setup, which I did, and it was great, and then it just had no sound after a month. So it died out. I was past Amazon's warranty. Now here's an interesting tidbit. I was curious about, does Eart offer any kind of warranty? And I talked to AC Tom, and he said, you can send your guitar to this guy in Maryland, and he'll take care of it. So it's nice knowing there is something. Unfortunately, for something like, a dead output jack or whatever that is, it's just not worth sending your guitar over to another state unless you happen to be in Maryland. So for me, it's going to be just more cost and time effective to just take it to a tech and just have them replace the output jack or do it myself. So yeah. And then the last one, this one right here, it looks beautiful, plays great, sounds pretty good considering those are the stock pickups, but it's got some cracks right here under the volume knob and tone knob. Now you might not be able to see those in the camera, even if I were to pull it up close, but I'll see if I can post some pictures there of what that looks like under the plate. This is supposed to be a brand new instrument. Now this could have happened with shipping. Maybe they dropped it and the knob hit the floor or something. I don't know. But I'm seeing a lot of comments and just people saying like, yeah, mine had problems, I found this, I found that. So just don't expect your guitar to be like 100% perfect every time. Realistically, it seems like you're playing a lottery game. And I think it's a shame because that's probably like Eart's biggest downfall. And I would love to see them up their quality control, even if it meant that we had to pay like 20 bucks more for them to make sure that they're properly inspected, set up and whatnot. I would happily do so if that was the case. Because it's a little frustrating getting the guitar and then just realizing, hey, I have a problem. Oh, hey, I have another problem. Oh, hey, here's another problem. But yeah, so that's gonna wrap us up at number one. So I hope the video was educational. I hope you have clear expectations. Now, I'm definitely not saying this is a bad brand. There's a lot of value behind these guitars. You've got nice tuners. You've got, like nice bridge and hardware outside of the pickups, which are okay. You got great looking, slightly non-conventional instruments, nice rolled edges. So there's a lot of good. Just be mindful if you're gonna purchase one of these, you might come across a model that needs some work, or you might need to replace or repair something, or send it back depending on the severity of it. So it is what it is. Again, I hope the video was educational and helped you out in your decision. If you liked it, please leave me a like, comment, subscribe. And if you didn't like it, if you have some constructive feedback for me, please let me know in the comments as well. That is it, guys. I've been Raf. You've been great. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.